Hi, everyone. Matt Clark, research analyst for Money Markets here with your weekly marijuana market update. Now, today I'm going to dive into cannabis earnings. But first, if you do have a question about a cannabis stock or the broader market, you make sure to email me at feedback@moneyandmarkets.com. We're going to drop that right down below here. And if we use your question in an upcoming video, whether it's for me or for Adam or for Charles, you're going to get some cool Money and Markets gear for free. We have t-shirts, we have hats, we have sweatshirts, we have all sorts of great stuff. We'll hook you up if you send us a question and we use it in any of our upcoming videos. And make sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel, get notified each and every time we post up a new video. We're doing videos every week, so just mash that subscribe button and then hit that notification bell. You get notified every time we post up a new video. I'd also encourage you to check out moneyandmarkets.com. It is your home for safe, sound, smart, simple, and adaptable, profitable investment information. You can search our proprietary stock power rating system and get the ratings of thousands of stocks. You'll see a breakdown of the fundamental and technical ratings that make up the overall stock rating. If you go to moneyandmarkets.com, in the top right-hand corner, you'll see a search bar. Just type in a company or ticker in that search bar there, and then you'll be able to see that stock's ranking, stock chart, fundamental data, any analysis we published, and it's all yours for free. Also, don't forget you can build your own watch list and track stock performance, and you can do all that at moneyandmarkets.com. Now on with today's update. Now this week is going to mark a pretty big week for cannabis companies as earnings kick off this week for the recent quarter. Now there are some cannabis companies have already reported. I'll get to that here in a second. But a bulk of cannabis companies are going to start reporting over the next couple of weeks. But first, let's see where cannabis stocks are now by zeroing in on our Money and Markets Cannabis Index. The index is an equal weighted index, which means we don't necessarily look at it's not weighted by price or by market cap. It's all equaled out so that every cannabis company is kind of on level playing ground. And it covers 152 cannabis companies that are listed on major U.S. exchanges and over the counter. And these companies have a market cap of more than $10 million. Now you can see in the chart, the index has fallen about 37.9%, about 38%. Since the start of the year. Now, we have seen a slight uptick of about 4% since the low on July 3rd, and most of that's related to the announcement of the U.S. Senate bill that's been aimed at federally legalizing cannabis here in the U.S. The bill's not expected to pass. I don't see it happening this time around, but investors seem to be holding out some glimmer of hope that something related to either cannabis legalization or maybe even something as small as, well, not small, but something as pared down as lifting banking restrictions on cannabis companies could happen in the near future. Honestly, I don't know if the prospects are really good on either of those fronts right now. But it leads me into this week when cannabis earnings are going to get into full swing. Now, there have been, like I said, some companies that have already released their quarterly earnings. Tilray Brands, which trades under the ticker TLRY, Turning Point Brands, which trades under the ticker TPB, were already big names in the cannabis space to report earnings at the end of July. Tilray had a fairly flat quarter with sales of $153.3 million. That was about 8% more than the same quarter a year ago, and just 1% above the most recent previous quarter. Turning Point, on the other hand, had reported sales of $103 million, 2% more than the previous quarter, but down 16% from the same quarter a year ago. One thing of note, Sold Global Investments, which invests in a lot of different things, including cannabis, it trades over the counter under SOLCF. It was hammered in its recent quarterly report. The company reported quarterly revenue of negative $26 million. That was 388% lower than the previous quarter and 217% down from the same quarter a year ago. Now, of note, in its quarterly report, SOLCF did say it was paring back its investment in the cannabis space to focus on other avenues of revenue in the future. So it's going to be kind of pulling back from investing in cannabis companies and going to shift focuses to other areas to invest capital into. Now, this could give us a glimpse here into what's ahead for other major cannabis operators in terms of earnings this season. As you can see in the chart I'm showing you now, there are several major cannabis players that are set to report earnings this month. Canopy Growth, which is CGC, is scheduled to report on August 5th. Analysts are forecasting earnings per share of negative 22 cents. Sensio analysts are projecting a 17% drop in sales from a year ago for CGC. Curaleaf is slated to report next week on August 8th with expected EPS of negative 3 cents. Kronos Group, which is CRON, True Leaf Cannabis, which is TCNNF, Cresco Labs, CRLBF, and Jushi Holdings, which is JUSHF, are all on the calendar this month and all have projected negative earnings per share on the docket. Now, this doesn't necessarily mean that the cannabis companies are going to report overall losses. It just means that whatever they're gaining isn't going to make up for what they're spending. Trulieve is expected to post revenue of $324 million, which is a 50% bump up from last year. Curaleaf may report revenue in the neighborhood of $337 million. That's up 8% from a year ago, according to the same analysts with Sentio. Now, if those expectations pan out, it'll be good news in a cannabis market that's seen prices kind of drop due to inflationary pressure. Now, remember, in times of inflation, cannabis sellers typically will reduce the price of flower in order to offload overhead supply. But they also have to contend with the illicit market, which is even lower in price as inflation hurts millions of Americans across the country. Analysts have already started to reduce their sales forecasts for the broader cannabis market. According to Barron's, Cowen analyst Vivian Azer dropped her annual growth forecast from 13% to 6% as inflation could be pushing more and more Americans into the illicit cannabis market, despite lower prices on the legitimate legal market. Projections for annual sales this year are now at $26.4 billion in 2027. She revised her legal sales to $45.6 billion rather than the previously forecasted $49.5 billion. So we're seeing a reduction in forecast by analysts. I don't know that it's necessarily going to come to that big of a drop. I don't know if necessarily a halving of a percentage increase is necessarily in the offing here. But inflation is certainly going to hurt the cannabis market, as, like I said, prices are dropped. So you have to sell more in order to make more. It becomes mathematical at that point. So it is going to hurt cannabis operators. Just not really sure in terms of how much. It really kind of depends on how long we stay in this inflationary market. Right now, 9.1%. Where that goes from here, we're not sure. If inflation tends to go back down, then we could see that pressure kind of relieve off of cannabis operators. But if it stays level or even gets higher, then I think the pressure is going to get even more. Now, if cannabis companies only show slight growth or even drops in sales, this is going to create stronger headwinds for cannabis stocks. The recent uptick we've seen in the market, again, spurred by the slight prospect of federal legalization in the U.S., and I do mean slight, as I don't really think the Senate has 50 votes to get this thing passed. As Democrats hold the one tiebreaker with the vice president, I don't see it happening. I really don't. I think it's ambitious and it's long overdue, but it's just not going to happen in this current political climate. There's just too many things. Even Democrats are sparring with each other on various things that aren't even cannabis related. So to get something like this passed is going to take yeoman's effort, and I just don't think it's there. But if and when it doesn't come to fruition, and it's not, you couple that with lackluster quarterly earnings from cannabis operators, if in fact that is what we see in the coming weeks, we're going to see even more declines in cannabis stocks overall, and that's not good news for us. As I think we're really waiting for a bottom to happen here in the industry, but we haven't seen it yet. We saw a brief uptick. But again, quarterly reports coupled with a lack of action at all by Congress on legalization is just going to push these things even lower. And I hate to see that, because I think we're ready for a top up. I think we're ready for it to see our stocks start coming up a little bit, and it's just not happening the way we'd like to see it. That's all for me this week. If you have a question about a cannabis stock or the broader market, you can email me. The email address is feedback@moneyandmarkets.com. We're going to put that right down below. If you do send us a question and we use it in any of our upcoming videos, whether it's for me or for Adam or for Charles, and we use it in any of those videos, we're going to set you up with some very cool money and markets gear for free. We've got t-shirts, we've got hats, we've got sweatshirts. Also, we have sent some out already. If you have received some gear, like to see you wear it, like to show some pictures of you wearing t-shirts, hats, sweatshirts, whatever you might have received. Would love to see that. Send us a picture of you wearing your gear, and we may put that in an upcoming video. You can send that also to feedback@moneyandmarkets.com. Don't forget about all the great content we have here on our YouTube channel. It is the best investment insight that we offer, and it is yours for free. Follow me on Twitter. I give you even more insights, not just in the cannabis market, but the broader market, even sports, because I'm a huge soccer nut. You can follow me on Twitter for all of that. My Twitter handle is @InvestWithMattC. That's InvestWithMattC on Twitter. Thanks to everyone who watch our videos each and every week. We do it because we want to bring you the best insights, not just in cannabis, but into broader investing and the economy. We want to help bolster your profits in your portfolio, regardless of the market conditions, whether it's up, whether it's down, whether it's flat. We are always on the lookout for strong investment opportunities in any market condition. Also, check out moneymarkets.com each and every day. We have new content that provides safe, sound, smart, simple, adaptable, profitable investment information for you. And you can check out my Stock Power Daily. I give you one stock every day that's highly rated on our Stock Power rating system and tell you why it is a great investment for your portfolio. All that is at moneyandmarkets.com. I'm Matt Clark, research analyst for Money Markets and the host of the Marijuana Market Update. Until next time, everyone, safe trading.